Also new tonight, a warning for every driver. The road salt that builds up on your car is more than just an eyesore.
The effort to protect you could cost you. KATV News Watch 7's Christina Engdahl is live to explain. Christina?
That's right, Robin. Brady, take a look at this. It's not only messy, but all the buildup that you see on this car here can actually rust through important infrastructure on your car, and it can start doing permanent damage right away unless you wash it off. Wash it off.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Now today I felt like it was a perfect opportunity to show you guys one of my greatest secrets. So as many of you know, in the area that I'm in, it has been right around 0 degrees or maybe 5 degrees for the last few days. With that being said, there's been a lot of ice on the roads, and you know what that means. Lots and lots of salt. So since I've been driving the Rubicon 392, since the conditions have been a little bit rougher than usual, I wanted to go ahead and show you guys how to get the salt off of your vehicle whenever it's been 0 degrees or at least freezing temperatures. One of the biggest issues whenever it is 0 degrees or freezing is obviously getting the water out. So right now all of the car washes are closed, and I guess that's just because they're not insulated enough for these conditions. Now with that being said, I do have an outside spigot here at the house, 2 of them, but both of those are actually frozen now too. And aside from that, my water hose, I've left it out and now it's frozen up like a snake. So there's not really much I can do with that, but I'm gonna show you guys how I clean my vehicles to at least get the salt off of them in these crazy cold conditions. And I'm sure you guys can tell just how much salt is on this Jeep right now. With these big tires, obviously it's gonna throw up a lot more salt than usual, but this is just absolutely ridiculous. And a vehicle like this is definitely not something I want to leave covered in ice for too long of a time. It's been like this for about 3 days so far, so I need to go ahead and address it before it causes any real issues. But it does look pretty cool with all the salt over it, that's for sure. So one of the absolute biggest keys to this process right here is going to be a wireless cobalt pressure washer. So with this, it has a couple different adapters. That way you can either hook up to a water hose or you can actually hook up a line to run water from a bucket. So that's actually what we're going to be using today, and you can see the line right there with the filter. That way you don't get any weird particles in there. That's what we're going to be using today. Now they do have a system set up for these, that way you can use it kind of like a foam cannon. I have not ever been able to get that to work well. I'm not sure if I'm just not setting it up right or what, but what I typically do is I use 2 different buckets. One I'll put some suds in, one I'm not going to use any suds with. Now the biggest key to this entire operation is just using the inside water, making sure you get the hottest water you can possibly get out of the tub. Fill up a 5-gallon bucket to start. And you want to make sure your bucket's as clean as possible. That way it doesn't pick up any little rocks, pebbles, or fine dirt. That way you're not basically spraying it right at your vehicle. Now we'll take this first bucket back outside and I'll show you what's next. No, Wrangler, it's hot. So now that we got our first bucket of hot water, and you can see the steam coming off that, the clock is ticking. So we're gonna go take this second bucket, fill it up about halfway, make sure we get some suds in it, and then we'll go ahead and hit the Jeep. Now we've got some hot water in the second bucket as well. We've got the first bucket filled up. Now all we need to do is get the pressure washer ready. Now one tip that's definitely gonna save you some cold hands is gonna be just wearing some nice rubber gloves. That way your hands will still get cold, but they're not necessarily going to get wet, so they'll stay a whole lot warmer that way. And for these, it's super simple. You just throw a battery in, make sure you lock down the hatch, and you're good. You'll see there's a little spot right here, and then you're good to go. Now just to break it up, I'm going to leave the nozzle on 15 degrees and knock all the salt off we can. Go ahead, switch back over to your normal water and clear it all off. And the best thing to do is do one side at a time, and then I'll save the front and back for one section. Now we'll just do the same thing on the opposite side. Now some good tips for whenever you are doing this. Inevitably, some of it is going to freeze whenever you're going around it, but whenever you hit it again with this hot water, everything will thaw out really fast and you'll be able to get to the paint. And then even aside from that, all of the runoff coming whenever you are washing this is going to freeze, so you'll have to be careful whenever you're walking around. But the best advice is just to go as fast as you can. Make sure you get all the soap. If it does freeze over, spray it again with that hot water. That way you can get down to it and make sure you get all the salt and all the soap off. And then we'll pull it back into the garage after we get done. And a really good trick, if you are really cold, since you got this hot bucket of water here and your rubber gloves on, just stick your hands in and it'll warm you up pretty fast. Well, that just about covers the touchless process if you do want to go ahead and wash your vehicle in sub-freezing temperatures, especially if you just need to get that salt off. Now for this, you guys can probably already tell it's starting to freeze over a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it into the garage, that way it can warm back up a little bit. Hopefully you guys can see here just how well that process does. I think the hot water, especially with the soap, really gets that salt off really well. Now of course this isn't going to be a showroom finish or a show car quality wash, but it definitely gets all the salt off. That way you don't have to worry about the salt eating into your paint, your body, anything like that. And you even make a little ice rink after you're done. Now I do have a really unique product to show you guys, and I'm pretty sure some of you are going to be pretty excited about it. So we all know those Jeep owners that love playing Duck Duck Jeep. Well, if you're not caught up on the trend, it's where random people will leave random ducks on a random person's Jeep and they'll walk out, find it, and they have been ducked. So that's where it all came from. And I know plenty of people that'll drive around all the time with ducks right on top of their dash, which is a little weird. I'm not one of those people, but I know that there's plenty of people just like that. And this product today is specifically for them. So what it is a duck rated Jeep emblem. And what you'll see right here, it's actually an aluminum style material, and it's got a peel and stick backing right there. And it's actually the exact same size as your trail rated badge. So I've seen a lot of them been placed right there, but there's a bunch of different places you could put it on the back or anywhere you wanted. But I think it's just a cool thing to go along with the duck trend with these Jeeps. I know a lot of people would be happy to have that. I've seen a lot of different duck stickers, but the actual duck emblem would be pretty neat if you're into that kind of thing. Which, like I said, it's not really my style. I like to keep everything pretty clean, tucked, and organized, but I know there's plenty of people that would love to have it. So now that it's inside, it's already starting to warm up a little bit in here, and all this is starting to de-thaw. Now if I wanted to, by the time it actually warmed up, I would be able to wipe it down and use a little quick detailer on it to get a great finish, and it would all work out pretty well. But since today is actually Christmas, I've got other plans, so I'm not going to do the full detail on it. But for now, it's definitely plenty good enough to get all the salt off and make sure that I don't have to worry about any corrosion or anything like that. Now, if you guys haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to see next. But until next time, Merry Christmas.